Do you hate ads? I hate ads. You know what I love? Patreon.com/inkdependence, where patrons get access to a patron-only Discord, ad-free videos, and the joy of knowing they help support this channel. Hello folks, my name is Mike, this is Inkdependence, and today I have an ink for you from the Sailor Yurameku series. This is from the first series of Sailor Yurameku inks, and I got this one from Dromgoole's pens. Thank you, Dromgooles, for giving me this for review. You can see this is going to be an interesting color, and it's one that I just kind of really wanted to try out, and it turns out this is one of the ones from the Yurameku series that I don't love, although I think it's really interesting. So if you want to see an ink that Mike doesn't love but is really interested by, check this one out. Comes in this little bottle right here. These are 20 ml bottles and they are $20 a piece. Yurameku series, especially this first one, tend toward color shift and also multi-chromes. And they're usually a little bit on the undersaturated side. Not all of them, but a lot of them. This is maybe one of the more undersaturated ones. So I wanted to try this out and just see kind of how I dug it. So Kitsune Biyori is Japanese for fox weather, and I probably pronounced that wrong. But the idea is that it's weather that kind of fools you. You think it's going to be one way, and then it's another way. So that's fun. Everybody likes that kitsune. All right, let's look at this on some paper. Here it is on my usual Nebula Casual Note paper. This is a 90 GSM paper. It's not really coated, but it does react really well with fountain pen inks. And here we have, it is like a medium flow. I've never had a problem with the flow, but it is fairly thin, which is weird. Not really weird. A lot of these undersaturated ones are kind of like that. Performance, it's okay on copy paper. Not amazing. The performance is okay, but it doesn't look great. So that's kind of interesting. Then we have qualities, shading, and general weirdness. If you look here at the colors, I'm not really sure what color this is. It's kind of like a light mauve. It's definitely a taupe, for sure a taupe. You can also see up here a whole lot of sort of like, I don't know, a thing that I think of in my head as pull shading, which is when you draw a line, it kind of like pulls the ink along with it, and then you just get a very light line up at the top where you start, and it kind of gets darker toward the bottom of a line. You can see that down here with my little schwa thing as well, where it goes this way, and then it's just kind of like dark here, but not here. So interesting stuff, interesting colors going on there. There's like greens and such in there. Pretty cool. I had this in 2 pens, and that's because I didn't really like it in the first pen I had it in, which was an Opus 88 Halo, which was Brad's pen. It was a combo between penaddict and Opus 88. Very nice pen, very orange, broad nib, but for some reason, and this happens sometimes with undersaturated inks, if you put them in a broad nib, it just sort of spreads the ink out. So you can see here in this top writing sample that it's just paler, even though this is a broad nib. It just kind of spreads the same amount of ink out over a larger area, and so you end up with a paler sort of complexion and more of that pull shading that I'm thinking of there. So yeah, it wasn't great for me. It looks pretty cool on some papers with this ink, or this nib rather, but it's just not a great combo. And so I went with another Brad pen, another penaddict combo. This is a spoke axle, which is this pen. I like the spoke axle. I really like his fountain pens. He's done a cool job with these, Brad and spoke. So you have this one, it screws to post on the back. It's a very nice sized pen. It writes really well, and this medium Yovo nib definitely gave this ink more of a darkness. It gave it some like depth, which was pretty cool, and so it let me see it on the paper better, and that's what I like to do, is see ink on paper. So yeah, this one was the winner for me out of these two, the broad and the medium. So I'd say put this in smaller ones, even maybe like if you have like a wet fine, that might be the better one for this. So real interesting ink. So let's do our water drop test, take a look at it on some other papers, and take a look at some other inks that are kind of in the same area of color, and then of course chromatography. We got to see some chromatography. All right, let's sort of spray this on here. I didn't put dots on this one for some reason. No, sometimes I just forget dots. Oh, that is immediately eradicated the ink here. So yeah, no water resistance on that. We're losing our water test up there. If you spill your water on this ink, you better hurry up, because you will miss what you wrote. It will go away. Let's blot this away carefully so I don't wreck the rest of what I wrote here. I was hoping for more multi-chrome in this ink than I got. The rest of this Yurameku series, this first series of Yuramekus, tends toward multi-chromes and like color shifting. And you don't really get as much of that in Kitsune Biyori. Kind of weirdly for Fox Weather, it kind of gives you what you expect more or less. So yeah, no water resistance. This was annihilated by just a little bit of water. You can still see this, but man, forget about this. It's gonzo. Here is what it looks like on some chromatography paper. And this is really interesting because this color doesn't, well, actually I take it back. This middle tone right here between the sort of like reddish pinkish and the greenish, that's sort of that color. Maybe that's just that interface between those two colors and that's how you get this. Really weird, but I wasn't expecting lime green to be a part of this. That's cool. So yeah, real neat. All right, so on the 20-pound Staples copy paper, this is 30% recycled copy paper, not great paper. You see a few little feathers, not too many though. It works pretty well. It did spread just a skosh, but not too much. So it was pretty okay on the copy paper. And then on the back here, even from the broad nib, not a huge amount of bleeding or anything. From the medium, very well behaved, really. And if you compare it to the rest of the things on this sheet, pretty good. Definitely above average in the medium, but it's just it's kind of pale. And I think if I was trying to read this for very long, it's not the most readable color. Like you're actually getting a little bit more contrast, I think, on the camera than you are in real life. It's a little bit paler, I think, in real life. I don't know. Maybe I'm imagining that, but I think I'd get tired reading this, frankly. Now, for these papers, I went ahead and did two of them because I was using two different nibs. This is the medium nib, and I think it looks pretty okay here, but I mean, I don't know, I'm torn. So some parts of this, like up at the top with the broad nib from that Opus 88, it looks a little bit better. But then down here, it started being very pale. And over here, it's just kind of more uniform. And I think this is easier to read, although this is a little more interesting. But when it gets super pale, like in this area, I don't love that. I need it to be a little bit darker, I think. I want a little bit more ink in this ink is what I'm saying. So for me, the medium nib is just kind of the winner in this contest for this ink. This is, of course, by the way, did I actually even write it on here? Oh, I did. Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, this is Rhodia paper. This is Rhodia dot pad paper, 90 GSM Rhodia dot pad. So yeah, there you go. And here we have my Inky Fingers currently inked notebook. This is wheat straw paper, which is kind of like sugar cane paper that you will find available now. And yeah, on this one as well, the medium just kind of wins. That broad is just, it's not putting enough ink in a small enough area for me. And so it's kind of just too pale. It just kind of, it looks like it's skated, you know? Really, it's not doing it for me. But the medium looks great. Look at that. It looks nice. I like it. Also, what the heck is that color? Tan? I don't know. And here in my Galen Leather Co., this is Tomoe River paper, that original Tomoe River. And again, the medium just looks better than the broad. It's there's just more ink there. It's putting down more. Even though this is not like a dry broad nib or anything. It's just, just too spread out. But this looks okay. I don't think it's great on this paper, honestly. It doesn't really soak in well, I think, is the deal. I don't know. It's not great on here. All right, let's look at a bunch of similar-ish inks. Also, look at this cute paper clip. We got this at a craft fair. So we just like knit a bunch of little acorns. Super cute. Keep that there. Also, that is the right color scheme. So here is Kitsune Biyori on a Colodex card. And when I did this Colodex card, I was like, oh, this is going to be great. I'm going to love it. And then it's just kind of too pale. I want more. Maybe I just need to use it as a dip ink, dip pen ink, because it looks really good on there. We have here Birmingham Pen Co. Pennsylvania Fieldstone, which is kind of what I was expecting this to be, with this multi-chrome action. You got like some pinks in there. A lot of these Yuramekus have a little bit of pink in it. This one just doesn't really from Kitsune Biyori, but Pennsylvania Fieldstone looks really cool. Then we have Andoryllium. This is Tollyeep Moth. I don't know what the heck that is. It's a bug. This is from their Lepidoptera set. I just got this one recently from our friend Beth. This is from Pamela. This is from Dromgoole. I love getting things from places. That's really nice. But this is way more brown, but same kind of like color tones and that sort of thing. And then I also pulled this one. This is Nagasawa fufu, is I think how you say that, which is like the sound of soft things or something like pancake batter popping or some weird thing like that, but an awesome onomatopoeia. And I think this is just kind of a thing that I prefer over this one. So both of these are probably Sailor inks. I'm pretty sure this is made by Sailor, and I think this is beautiful, and this is just a little bit too light. So I kind of like this one a little bit more. And then I have one more, and that is Dromgoole Don Quixote, or Don Quixote, if you are from where I grew up. And this is a really interesting ink color, and I think from a pen, this often is much lighter than it is in this sample. From this Zizo Visionary, which is super wet, it came out very dark. From this extra fine nib, it came out very light and much more like Kitsune Biyori, but kind of an interesting color range we've got going on here. This is a type of weirdo color that I'm here for. I just wish there was a little bit more ink here. So try this one, maybe this one. I haven't got this in a pen yet, but it's really cool. But this one I know is very nice. So there you go. That's a bunch of comparisons for you. All right, so this has been Sailor Kitsune Biyori from the Yurameku lineup. Not my favorite. I really love the rest of the inks in this line, but this one is very situational, and you're going to need the right paper and ink for it, or right paper and nib for it, to really show what it can do. So this one's a little bit more picky than some of the other ones, like Seiki and Amamoyoi and some of those others, which are just Yoi, which are just like beautiful, awesome inks. This one is a little bit pickier, so give the fox what it wants, and it'll be very cool. All right, that's it. Until next time. Hey, down there in the comments, I don't know, tell me what your favorite Yurameku is. Have you tried these? Like, what's your favorite one? If you've used this in a pen and a paper combination that you think is amazing, tell me what it is down below, because I want to know. I really want to love this more than I ended up loving it. So there you go. Thanks for watching, and until next time, peace out.